Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing problem number 1578, minimum deletion cost to avoid repeating letters. Before I begin, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. And the outline for today is we're going to read the problem, think of a general approach, and then do the solution as always. So given a string s and an array of integers cost, where cost I is the cost of deleting the character I in s, okay, return the minimum cost of deletion such that there are no two identical letters next to each other. Notice that you will delete the chosen characters at the same time. In other words, after deleting a character, the cost of deleting other characters will not change. Okay, so we read the problem. Now how are we going to approach it? Well, let's look at this. So we have this string over here, A, B, A, C, okay, and each character has an associated cost with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and what we want is we don't want any characters to be right next to each other. So if we go through this, A, look in the left and right, there's nothing, it's not the same. B, left and right, nothing the same. A, what we see on the right, there's another A. Okay, so now we know we have this substring right here of A, and we need to shrink this down such that there's only one A left. We want to turn this into just a regular A, because then what's on the left of this A, if this just became an A, what's on the left and the right won't be the same. Okay, so that's basically how we want to approach this problem. Since we know we don't want any repeating letters, anytime we see a substring of repeating letters, we want to cut it down such that it comes down to a size of 1. So for example, if we had this example A, B, 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 C, this is a substring of repeating letters. We don't want that. We want to cut it down so that it's just A, B, C. Okay, now which B's should we remove? Because we see we have a bunch of B's, possible options to remove. Well, we want to remove the ones that give us the minimum cost, right? So we want to pick off the ones that have the minimum cost, and we want to retain the only B that has the maximum cost. For example, if all these B's were 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? But then this middle one had 5, well then you remove all these B's and you retain this B. So this B would be the one with the cost of 5. Right? That'd be right there. Would be the one with the cost of 5. And that way, the cost for removing is minimized. So that's how we're going to approach the problem. We're going to have 2 pointers. The first one is going to iterate through the entire string. Okay, we're going to start and we're going to go through the entire string. And now so it's going to be like a for loop. For, go through entire string, and then every time we go through the string, we're going to have a sub for loop, kind of, an inner for loop. Why am I saying sub for loop? And this inner for loop is going to check whether the next character is the same as my current character. So I'm going to start with A. Is the one after, which is a B, is it the same as A? No. So then I'm going to keep going. So B. Is the one after this B the same? Yes. Is the one after the same? Yes. Is it after the same, until I get this? So then I get my substring of all this, right? And then I want to shrink this, okay? Get my substring, which is B, and then I want to shrink it by removing what? By removing all the minimum, by removing the minimum cost and just leaving 1, which is the maximum, okay? Which is just the maximum cost. So I get this, I shrink it, and then I keep track of the total cost, sum the cost to my total cost. Cost is 0. I keep summing the cost, and I just return the cost of all the removes that it took me. This is a general approach, and so you'll see here I kind of coded something like this. I don't really have comments, but show you while this is running. So we have our sum costs, and we'll learn how to clean this up a little bit. So we have this sum cost is 0. Then I go through my entire string. Okay, I get my current character, and then what this is doing, this line right over here, it's checking the next character, and it's as long as my next character is the same as my starting character, it's going to keep going. So you see, while j plus 1 and j is currently I, while the next one, which is j plus 1, is still part of the string. Don't want to go out of bounds, and while the next one is equal to my current one, right? I increment my j, so I keep checking the next and the next and the next, right? And so at this point after this, I to j inclusive are part of substring, right? Are part of the substring. They all have the same characters, basically. I create a new variable called x. My max index is also set to I. And now what I do for this is, remember now, I need to keep adding the cost, right, for my substring. So I add the cost for removing these items. So I'm going through, every time I go through, I'm now iterating through my substring. Every time I iterate through my substring, I sum up my cost, okay? And I keep doing that. And I also keep track of the maximum cost, the one that had the maximum cost. So I keep adding to my costs, and now what I did was, by doing this, before I hit line 64 or 65, after I did this, what's basically happening here is I removed this entire substring, and I turned it just into an empty string, right? But now what I need to do is that, because I added one too many costs, right? I removed all of them. As you can see, I kept adding all of them. What I need to do now after this is I need to make sure I add back my maximum b into the thing. So what that means is I remove it back from my cost of removing it. If that makes sense. So I keep adding the cost, and then at the end I finally remove it. Increment I because it was incremented here. And then I return it. This is my first draft. I'll come back in a bit right now to show you how we can clean this up a little bit. The cleaner solutions don't look as nice. Well, they look nicer. Sorry, they look easier to read, but they're less intuitive. I found this answer is a lot more along the lines of the way you would think about it. So 1 second, and we'll be right back. Actually, you know what? I like my answer. I think it's okay. Other people, like over here, you see Votrabek a lot, and these guys are crazy smart. I don't know how they do it. They're crazy smart. Some of their answers are crazy smart. But this is their solution. You can kind of clean it up a little more. You can just take a look at that. But I'm going to stick to my answer. It makes a lot more sense to me. Please subscribe, like, comment if it helped, and don't if it didn't.